Now Wanda's gonna be doing this. He's just showing for the camera right now. He ain't gonna be doing as much walking. And then we gotta go unload it, don't we?
Yeah, gotta unload it and stack it. This year is gonna be crazy because we're having to cut a bunch of it in little short pieces there to be able to get it straight enough to run it through the mill, like these over here.
Most of these are pretty, but you've got a few.
Like, when you got them curved like this here, you have to cut these down. Then you got to cut them off down here to get them straight enough to run through that mill. And that's going to slow us down drastically.
You as tired as I am.
This is the worst we've ever had to deal with.
It's a lot of cane.
It's not that much cane. It's that we had to cut 99% of it into 2 and 3 pieces because it's so crooked. I mean, it looked like snakes laying on the ground, you know? The wind twisted it all up. We got a few straight pieces out of it on this side here, but all that, most everything, that whole half of the bed's cutting
Smaller.
3 pieces. Some of us even throw it on the ground I couldn't even use.
Yeah, it was pretty crooked. Some of them were like a snake, went 3 ways, but that's what you get with wind if you don't tie them up.
Well,
but we got a lot of pretty ones.
We still got to cut over to the other property, so we're just going to have to go over and figure out how we can stack this up where we can actually use it and get it, you know. And then we got to cut all that over there. And that over there is it's fairly straight.
We got a few laying down.
There's a few laying down, not many. Most of it's predominantly pretty straight up. This over here, we got this holler down through here. The wind comes down through this holler all the time. And it just blows it and twists it, and I mean, it's just a mess. We now know that's blue ribbon cane. What I had before and thought was blue ribbon cane was what they call striped cane. Because the cane I had stripes running down it. And I was told it was blue ribbon, but now that I've done the research, I actually have the blue ribbon. I don't have the striped cane.
We just don't have much of it.
Well, I got plenty of blue ribbon right there.
I mean, those few there, yeah.
Yeah.
Are we going to run that too?
No. I'm going to replant that. If I can get it done before it freezes, I'm going to try to replant that over at Pecan Grove. We don't have the striped cane. See, I got confused. The old man who sold me that cane years ago told me it was blue ribbon, and I thought the stripes on it meant that it was ribbons, but evidently the research says if it's got the white rings around it, that's the ribbon around it. I had what's called purple striped cane, now that I look at it, yeah.
Miss Vicky kind of geared that on with sending the blue ribbon.
Yeah,
so
if
we
she had never sent me the blue ribbon, I would have never ever, you know, I would have took the old man's word for it, and it's been 30 years ago, you know, I would have took the old man's word for it. And he may not have known. He might have just told me that, you know, and my fault, never done the research.
It's got a better taste?
Well, it's a higher sugar content, and it's a darker. It's good for chewing cane. We always sold it for chewing cane, which it's really good for that. But it's also really good for making syrup.
So now what is this?
This I got from an old man, oh gosh, 30 years ago maybe. I was at his house and I saw it growing. He had a wagon wheel in his yard growing out there, a big pampas of cane. And I said, what you gonna do with that sugar cane? He said, cut it down and throw it in the woods. I said, can I buy it from you? He said, nope, you can't buy it from me, but you can have it, you know? So I went out there and whacked it all down, throwed it in my truck, and brought it home and planted it. And this is it. I've had it for like 30 years. I
mean, we really haven't determined what this is.
I don't know what it is. He didn't know what it was. He said it came off of his grandpa's old place, and he was an old man. So I don't know. I have no clue what it is, you know?
It makes some good syrup.
It makes really good syrup. Really good. So off to Pecan Grove to unload and start cutting all over again and fighting the bees. Yesterday the bees was all over everything over there. Today I suspect when we put this out, it's going to be bad. It's gonna be really
I mean, it's cold this morning, but it's not.
It was 37 this morning, and I guarantee you when I get over there, they're gonna be yellow jackets and honeybees in my syrup mill where we squeezed in a few pieces the other day, and I've washed it out with water. And I guarantee you they're gonna be cotton picking. Yellow jackets and honeybees is gonna be all over it. And when we pile this up next to it to run, it's gonna be like
These ends bleeding a
yeah,
little.
so I'm talking about them bleeding. They're gonna go back to their hives and they're gonna just tell everybody. You know? And all of them gonna come over. We're gonna all have a big party, I reckon.
I guess all our friends helping us tomorrow is going to get to fight the bees.
Well, I hope they don't have to have an EpiPen with them because they probably gonna be there. Good Lord, what's on the end of that thing?
Or not. You know what's on the end.
Goodness gracious.
How do you know what's good and what ain't? As far, I mean, the smell. Yeah, that's a good lighting.
That's the good stuff. Yeah, we get up this morning, it's 37 degrees. I got no firewood in the house. I got no lighter. I got nothing.
But the household's heat.
The house held the heat pretty good. It got down to, it was 70, so it wasn't bad. Supposed to wear clothes in the house anyway. So this is a lighter pile we got to take over to Pecan Grove. And right now I'm just looking for something to take over there to, you see, now not all lighter's good. Now, even though that's lighted, it's no good. It'll burn.
You don't see that.
You don't see that. Look at the difference here.
It'll still burn.
It'll still burn, but see the difference in the color? This here has got a lot more rosin. This here is what was dug up out of that holler down there when we did the pond. It's been covered up underground for, I guess, 100 years maybe. I don't know.
It'll burn, but it won't put out the heat.
It won't put the heat out like this right here. This will be enough right here to do what we need to do. Gosh, that's heavy. Yeah, this will be plenty right here. I just have to get my skill saw out and cut it up into pieces and a hatchet and bust it up. Yeah, we'll get that. I really need pieces like this. This is what's really good right here. You see all that rosin just ran out on it there? Oh, in the hot summer sun, it sits there and bleeds this rosin out all over it. This is the kind of stuff that's really, really good
You
right
ought
there.
to put it in there and take that one and you'd have enough piece for...
I'd have to have a chainsaw cut it up.
Yeah.
That right there, I can take the grapple and pick that kind of stuff up. I'm looking for little stuff.
You got most of that piled over yonder in another pile.
On this other side over here.
But this pile, I mean...
Yeah, this one...
Some very good character pieces.
Well,
I want something like this in my yard.
Well, when we cleared this land, this was virgin land when we cleared it.
And this one, see, this one I kept pieces like this.
Yeah.
The character of it. Some of these pieces will be used in the yard.
I'm off around here without my walking stick. So
Yeah, you gotta be careful.
have to be careful.
And these are the smaller pieces, but
Yeah, we're gonna take, this is really, really straight stuff right here. This bust is like really, really easy. And these things like this, you throw this
I
in
love these. They have character,
yeah,
but they'll burn like
they
crazy.
burn like crazy when you're cooking that syrup. You need to kind of like heat it up real quick. You throw a piece of that stuff in there. Oh Lord, you supposed to get out the way because it's gonna start chug-a-lugging. If I can get down there with this, we'll.
So we've got a huge pile that's got to be moved.
Yeah.
I mean, even this piece right there. I mean, there's lots of character in a lot of these. You need your block.
Yeah.